Hi, I'm Tiffany from No Ordinary Homestead.com, and today I'm going to be recycling candles. In this instance, we have a big basket of candles here. It's kind of useful. It's inherited with the farm, so lucky us. Not going to have to pay anything for it. I'm going to make them in these glass jars, and these are just some canning jars that I purchased on eBay recently, but they have like little chips in the rims, so I can't use them. So for canning, so I'm going to use them for this. And I don't know, some other candles that I melted, kind of square now. So I'm going to try that out with those too. A wick, stuff to hang the wick over so we keep it centered when we pour the candles in. Something like a. And over here we're going to make a little water bath. Got just a glass Pyrex dish and a pot of water. And we're actually going to need to heat this over low, so we're going to turn this way back down. Because candle making can be really dangerous if you overheat the wax. It could sort of ignite and start a fire, and certainly don't want that in your kitchen, so we're not going to do that today, hopefully. So I'm just trying to take apart some of these candles here, get them in a little bit smaller pieces so they'll melt a little bit faster. And I tried using a big mallet to smash the crap out of them with this bag, but that didn't really work out, so figuring that the screwdriver is probably going to work in my best interest here. And I'm just trying to get A, the pieces smaller, and B, the wicks out so that I don't have to pick them out later. But if I have to, well, that'll be okay too. So I'm just going to throw in a bunch of candles in here now. They're just barely starting to melt. So we have a ways to go, but just to only let them melt very slowly so that you don't screw anything up. So since our pieces are relatively big anyway, it'll probably take a while, I guess, but we'll soon find out. So it's been about 20 minutes. I'm heating this really slow. I've only got it on heat of like 6, so it's going nice and slow and steady. But maybe you can possibly see there's actually, well, let's see, maybe half an inch of wax now on the bottom, and I've just been kind of letting it sit here, covered with the glass lid on, so it holds a little more heat in it. It's extremely slow going, but we're getting somewhere. It's good news. So we're finally getting somewhere with the wax here, and one of the things that you need to watch out for when you're melting the wax down is when you get big pieces of gunky, funky stuff like this. So you just kind of want to somehow gracefully fish that out of there and put it on a piece of paper or an old rag or something like that and dispose of it properly in your refuse container. We're finally getting this stuff to melt. We've got a temperature of 7 on the range here. It's just barely boiling from the water that's inside the pot, so the wax melts at a pretty good rate. And hopefully what we've got in there is enough to fill one jar. It's taken 40 minutes so far, which is excruciatingly long, and we probably have another 20 minutes to go, so an hour a candle. Wow, it's intense, but it's kind of free, so what are you going to do? So I'm going to put the wicks in finally, because our wax is nearly finished melting, which is amazing in itself, almost an hour, wow. So I'm still learning the best technique here, but basically, generally you need to like drizzle a bit of wax on the bottom of the jar so that the wax will hold in place on the bottom while you set it at the top. And I find that pouring the wax in after you've already got the wick works a little bit better, but obviously you can't pour it on yourself because that would hurt. It's sort of halfway stable, I guess. And I'm going to use this little technique that my husband has come up with to secure the wick. Hopefully I can get it right on the first try. This is live television after all, folks. It's a little bit long, but mostly centered. Should work relatively well. hopefully when we pour the wax in, it'll sit a little bit lower on the bottom of the jar. So, and yeah, there you go. So the wax is finally almost 100% melted now. There's only just a couple of tiny little dots, and I'm too anxious to wait, so hopefully it'll finish melting by the time I get there. But got the jars already prepped with the wick. I straightened this one out a little bit, just pulled it up through the little clips a little bit. And it's standing relatively straight there now, so hopefully I can avoid not burning myself. Avoid burning myself, not double negate myself. And not make a mess. And pretty much every metal utensil that you use for something like this, except for maybe your pot, but even then still, you probably don't want to use again for food or anything like that, because when you're melting down the candles, you might end up with something that's got something in it that you don't like, some sort of metals or who knows what. So it's best just to designate that for candle making and other strange projects you might come up with. So we ended up with about 2 candles. It was probably 4 or so stubs, candle stubs around pea size. And another small candle over here hiding, which I've actually just broken off a piece of a regular candle and put inside. So hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe you'll go out and try to make your own recycled candles now. It's not so difficult. This may be a little time consuming, but considering the outcome, I think that we're pretty happy about it, and we'll probably do it again. So enjoy, and go check out noordinaryhomestead.com.